You can't take away from the guy. He's a great fighter. He's been around for, he's been champ for 7 years. And now it's James Toney's time. I'm the best middleweight in the world.
James Lights Out Toney just exposed his personal list of boxing's elite, and the controversy is already exploding across social media. The three-division world champion allegedly revealed these names during a heated argument at a Detroit gym last month. Sources claim certain legendary fighters got completely ignored because of personal conflicts that stretch back 30 years. Insiders whisper that this ranking exposes Toney's complicated views about skill versus power in the ring. Toney captured titles from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight, while displaying defensive mastery rarely seen in modern boxing. His slick style and trash-talking persona made him one of the sport's most polarizing figures during the 1990s and 2000s. Close associates say these 10 selections represent fighters who shaped James's philosophy about pure boxing ability and ring intelligence. Prepare for controversial takes and brutal honesty.
Block the right hand. And the combinations from James Toney. One of the keys to victory. He had to throw more than one punch at a time.
This countdown shows why Toney's opinions make traditional boxing fans uncomfortable. Let's break down James Lights Out, Toney's 10 favorite fighters and the explosive reasoning behind each pick. 10. Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. Whitaker starts the list at number 10, and sources claim Toney considers him defensive perfection. Whitaker won titles across 4 weight classes using slick movement that allegedly hypnotized James during the early 1990s.
His glove. De La Hoya trying to counter off that jab now.
Industry insiders whisper that Toney studied Sweet Pea's shoulder rolls and pivot moves religiously before his own title fights. Boxing historians say both fighters shared the same defensive philosophy about making opponents miss and countering instantly. The controversial draw against Julio Cesar Chavez reportedly infuriated Toney because he believed Pernell clearly dominated. Industry veterans say James referenced that robbery constantly when complaining about judging corruption. That mutual respect between two defensive wizards allegedly ran deeper than most fans ever recognized or appreciated. 9. Wilfred Benitez. Wilfred Benitez slides in at number 9, and insiders say Toney became obsessed with the Puerto Rican prodigy's precocious talent. Benitez won his first world title at just 17 years old, displaying maturity that allegedly amazed James. Sources claim Toney watched Wilfred's early fights to understand how young fighters could outsmart veterans through superior reflexes. Boxing historians say both men relied on anticipation and reaction speed rather than traditional defensive positioning. Behind closed doors, veteran trainers claim James studied Benitez's ability to slip punches by mere centimeters. The way Wilfred stayed relaxed under pressure reportedly influenced Toney's own calm demeanor during exchanges. Industry insiders whisper that James practiced Benitez's lazy-looking guard that suddenly became impenetrable. What impressed Toney most? Sources say he admired how Wilfred beat Sugar Ray Leonard in their first encounter through pure boxing intelligence. Benitez's tragic mental decline from too many fights allegedly haunts Toney's thoughts about career length. Training partners claim James referenced Wilfred when warning young fighters about taking unnecessary punishment. Industry veterans say Toney believes Benitez at his peak could beat most modern welterweights through superior reflexes alone. 8. Ezzard Charles enters at number 8, and sources claim Toney discovered this forgotten legend during late-night research sessions. Charles won the heavyweight title, but never received proper respect because he followed Joe Louis. Industry insiders whisper that James connected with Ezzard's story about being underappreciated despite obvious excellence. Boxing historians say both fighters possessed complete skill sets that casual fans failed to appreciate fully. Charles's victories over Archie Moore and Joey Maxim proved that technique beats raw aggression. Industry veterans claim Toney told students that studying Ezzard would teach more than any trainer's instructions. Sources say James believes Charles should be remembered alongside Louis and Marciano. That criminal underrating of skill allegedly bothers Toney more than his own lack of mainstream recognition. 7. Willie Pastrano. Willie Pastrano surprises everyone at number 7, and boxing experts say this selection shocked the entire community. Pastrano won the light heavyweight title despite being considered too soft and defensive by critics. Sources claim Toney saw a kindred spirit in Willie's refusal to fight the way others demanded. Industry insiders whisper that James studied Pastrano's ability to win ugly fights through superior boxing intelligence alone. Behind closed doors, training camp veterans say Toney referenced Pastrano when defending his own safety-first approach. The way Willie frustrated punchers by refusing to exchange reportedly validated James's entire boxing philosophy. Boxing historians claim both fighters faced constant criticism for not being exciting enough despite winning consistently. What connected these defensive artists? Sources say Toney admired how Pastrano ignored critics and stuck to his effective style. Pastrano's victory over Harold Johnson allegedly demonstrated that brains beat brawn every single time. Industry analysts claim James watched that fight repeatedly to study how Willie neutralized a devastating puncher. Training partners whisper that Toney practiced Pastrano's circling patterns before facing big hitters. That commitment to defensive excellence over crowd-pleasing brawling represents everything James believes about true boxing mastery. 6. Charlie Burley. Charlie Burley lands at number 6, and insiders claim Toney considers him boxing's greatest victim of ducking. Burley never got a title shot despite beating everyone who would actually fight him during the 1940s. Sources whisper that James became obsessed with Charlie's story after reading old boxing magazines in the gym. Industry historians say both fighters possessed skills that made champions actively avoid facing them in the ring. Burley's blackballing by the boxing establishment allegedly resonates with Toney's own feelings about being avoided. Industry veterans whisper that James told reporters Charlie was the most skilled fighter who never won a world title. Sources say Toney keeps Burley articles posted in his training facility as motivation. The injustice of a master craftsman being denied his moment allegedly fuels James's contempt for promotional politics. Training camp insiders claim Toney practices Burley's switching combinations weekly, even in his 50s. 5. Harry Greb. Harry Greb crashes into number 5, and sources say Toney reveres the human windmill's relentless activity. Greb allegedly fought nearly 300 times and did much of it partially blind in one eye. Industry insiders whisper that James studied Greb's ability to throw punches from impossible angles non-stop. Boxing historians claim both fighters shared the same attitude about taking fights against anyone regardless of size or reputation. Behind closed doors, veteran trainers say Toney watched Greb footage to understand constant offensive pressure combined with defense. The way Harry moved his head while throwing reportedly fascinated James during his prime years. Sources claim Toney practiced Greb's signature rolling style that kept opponents confused and off balance. Insiders say James admired how Greb beat heavyweights, despite being a natural middleweight through pure skill. Greb's victory over James Toney allegedly proved to Toney that great middleweights can beat anyone. Industry analysts whisper that James referenced Harry constantly when arguing about pound-for-pound greatness. Training partners claim Toney studied how Greb fought blind to understand mental toughness. Sources say James believes modern fighters are soft compared to warriors like Harry, who fought injured constantly. The combination of volume punching and defensive movement represents Toney's ideal fighting philosophy executed perfectly. 4. Benny Leonard. Benny Leonard takes the 4th position, and insiders claim Toney views him as lightweight perfection. Leonard dominated the 1920s with technical brilliance that allegedly transcended his era completely. Sources whisper that James discovered Benny through old boxing books and became instantly obsessed with his systematic approach. Boxing historians say both fighters relied on setting traps and making opponents walk into counters repeatedly. Behind the scenes, close associates claim Toney studied Leonard's fights to understand timing and distance control. The way Benny broke down opponents mentally and physically reportedly influenced James's own tactical thinking permanently. Industry insiders say Toney practiced Leonard's signature right hand over the jab for months. What made Benny legendary to James? Sources claim he admired how Leonard retired undefeated as lightweight champion, showing perfect career management. 3. Salvador Sanchez. Salvador Sanchez captures the bronze medal. and sources say Toney considers his early death boxing's greatest tragedy. Sanchez died in a car accident at just 23 years old after dominating the featherweight division brilliantly. Industry insiders whisper that James watched every available Sanchez fight multiple times, studying his mature ring generalship. Boxing historians claim both fighters displayed wisdom beyond their years when competing at the highest levels. Behind closed doors, training camp veterans say Toney referenced Salvador constantly when teaching young fighters about patience. The way Sanchez controlled distance and picked opponents apart reportedly became part of James's own methodical approach. Sources claim Toney studied the Wilfredo Gomez fight to understand how to neutralize devastating punchers. What made Salvador special to James? Insiders say he admired how Sanchez kept improving with each fight, showing unlimited potential. 2. Willie Pep. Willie Pep glides into the runner-up spot, and insiders claim Toney studied him more than any other fighter. Pep allegedly won rounds without landing punches, just making opponents miss and look foolish repeatedly. Sources whisper that James watched Willie's defensive artistry with religious devotion throughout his entire career. Boxing historians say both fighters succeeded by making the sport look easy through superior footwork and reflexes. Behind the scenes, close associates claim Toney tried incorporating every Pep defensive trick into his own arsenal. The way Willie used feints and shoulder rolls reportedly became the foundation of James's defensive philosophy completely. Industry insiders say Toney watched the famous round where Pep didn't throw a punch hundreds of times. What made Willie mythical to James? Sources claim he admired how Pep survived 241 professional fights through pure defensive wizardry and intelligence. 1. Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson claims the top spot, and absolutely nobody who knows James Toney finds this choice surprising. Robinson allegedly possessed every physical and mental tool combined with ring intelligence bordering on the supernatural. Sources whisper that Toney watched Ray's fights since childhood and memorized every combination and defensive movement. Boxing historians say James built his entire career trying to emulate Robinson's perfection at middleweight. Behind the scenes, training camp veterans claim Toney studied Robinson's footwork patterns frame by frame on old films. The way Ray created angles and openings that didn't exist reportedly became James's blueprint for offensive creativity. Industry insiders say Toney practiced Robinson's signature combinations until his arms felt like they would fall off. What made Sugar Ray untouchable to James? Sources claim he admired how Robinson did everything at the absolute highest level simultaneously without any weaknesses. James Toney's list proves that real students of boxing recognize pure skill above everything else. His defensive mastery earned him a place among the greats himself. Comment below with your favorite Toney performance. Hit that like button and subscribe for more boxing knowledge from the sport's most skilled practitioners.